Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to go over the top 5 junglers for helping you climb out of low elo. Now we're going to go over a couple different champions that I kind of assembled this list based on a few factors. One would be ease of execution. Second would be just kind of the current meta and what is going to work, and just kind of the current champions being played. And third would just be their overall carry potential. Now this is going to be my own personal list. I've done OPGG reviews for hundreds of different people, and I just kind of kept in mind, hey, wow, that guy did really well in this jungler, not that well in this jungler. And then just kind of, if there was any kind of trend that I saw that was like, hey, this champion actually works quite well in this lower elo, I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind, and I am putting this all out on a list for you. I would love to hear your thoughts if you want to tell me what your top 5 favorite junglers are. I know this is going to be really different because there are a lot of junglers that you can play and a lot of different play styles. A lot of people like, oh, I just like playing AP junglers, like I just play a shitload of like Elise and AP Shyvana. Why aren't these on the list? Well, it's because maybe they're a little bit niche, or they're maybe a little bit harder to execute, and this is just for someone that is just maybe in bronze, silver, or gold and just absolutely stuck and needs a new change of pace. This video is for you. So if you're new to the channel, my name is LowFit. I do educational content. I do tip videos, guide videos, and I'm starting to do a couple list videos just for best champions in certain scenarios. And also I stream here on YouTube, so if you want to hit that bell button and the like button on the video if you want to help me out, you'll be notified right when I start streaming, and I answer questions live. I make sure to help anyone that needs any kind of questions answered. I make sure to get around to it. It's kind of the benefit of being a small streamer. I'm able to interact with anyone that needs some help. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, and for number 5, we got Jax, the champion, Grandmaster at Arms. He is an amazing jungler, in my opinion, due to his ability to just really scale quite hard and not have to worry about getting bullied out of the early game as hard as he could be up in the top lane. Now, he is a little bit more difficult of a champion. That's why I put him at number 5 and why he isn't higher up the list. But if you start with the Cinder Hulk and then into a Triforce, it is an extremely forgiving, strong build. And when you get in low elo, you actually do see a lot of auto attack based champions, particularly Master Yi out of the jungle. And Jax is just amazing into that pick, and he can just really carry those late game team fights pretty hard. And when you're in low elo, people tend to not be able to close out the game as quickly as possible, and that's where Jax just really starts thriving. Once he starts getting like Spear of Sojin and Sterix and Guardian's Angel, it's just like completely just this monster that you have to deal with in the front line that's doing more damage than most carries. So give him a try if you haven't tried him yet. He has a great AoE clear with his E. He's able to dodge a lot, so his clear is pretty healthy and just does a surprising amount of damage even if you go the Cinder Hulk start. And again, guys, if you have any questions about how to play these particular champions, hit me up in the comments and I will try my best to help you out. Alright, and number 4, we have the Shadow of War Hecarim. Now, he has recently got just a huge buff with his Q rampage damage, and he is able to stack up his Conqueror so quickly and is just so extremely strong that Hecarim is even seeing quite a bit of top lane play. Now, I do think he still is a really strong jungler. There's nothing that has really changed about him when he was being played jungler, except that he's gotten stronger. He is a little bit harder to execute, and again, that's why he's a little bit lower on this list. But once you get a hold of him, he can be so strong, and he can carry the late game. Again, he can carry mid game team fights as well, and people are really not going to be able low elo players are not going to respect just how quickly you can close a large amount of distance, particularly if you're going ghost and you're just able to swoop up behind them and knock them back into your allied champion. It's just overall a great ganker. He has a decent dueling potential when you go Conqueror, and it's just a super strong pick with the AoE fear on his ult. If you want to look for something a little bit more fun, a little bit more of a chaotic playstyle, Hecarim is a great choice for you. All right, and number 3, I think everyone saw this coming when they knew I was going to be talking about low elo junglers, but Warwick is the premier jungler for people that are just starting to pick up the role due to his ease of execution on ganks and his really, really healthy jungle clear because of his passive is healing him, his Q is healing him, and then it can also start rejuve, bead, and no potions just with the machete and just sustain up quite a bit throughout the jungle and get that early Tiamat rush and just wave clear the camp so quickly that he is just such a great introductory champion. If you're one of those people that are just really struggling, just want to get back to the basics, get your fundamentals in order, Warwick can be a great pick for you. A decent duelist, can carry quite well in the early and mid game, might fall off a little bit in the late game, but there are a couple builds that you can do to bridge that and just really make Warwick quite the powerhouse. He can do early objectives by himself. He's just overall like really what you want in a jungler. He has good CC through his fear on his his E and his ult. That it's just a very strong jungler, and then people aren't really going to be just rushing healing reduction a lot of the time in low elo, which is just a huge asset for Warwick. That might struggle a little bit of that against that in the higher elos. So yeah, that will wrap up the best overall introductory jungler, but we still have 2 more that are pretty similar in difficulty level. All right, and my number 2 pick is Xin Zhao. He is so insanely strong in the early and mid game. He is exactly like the weapon he carries around. He's a pointed spear. You just go in, right? You just charge one direction and you try your damnedest to kill someone. He is extremely strong with the new Hail of Blades. Also, if you want to have a little bit more scaling, Conqueror can be okay on him, but probably not as good as Hail of Blades, because the really huge benefit of going Hail of Blades in Zhao is you're able to get your Q knock up very quickly, and you're able to get a level 2 gank off extremely easy, whether it be on the top, mid, or bot lane. He should be able to force a flash if he has his red buff and his Hail of Blades up, and just able to charge in and get that early knockup. He's a great early duelist, so he can have decent scuttle control. He has great healing out of his passive, where he's able to stay relatively healthy throughout the jungle. He can teamfight at a decent level with his ult, deflecting all damage if they are not inside the circle. So if it's a heavily ranged team, Xin Zhao can be quite effective. As you can see kind of in the background, there's a bunch of arrows crashing all around him, which is a great representation of how he plays out kind of the team fights and just being able to avoid a lot of ranged damage. So keep that in mind when you're seeing the enemy team. And this is, again, Warwick and Xin Zhao are just my 2 recommendations for people that are just they just want to try out the jungle, see what it's like. And these 2 are rather simple, extremely strong duelists, and just a huge variety of builds. You can go extremely offensive with a Warrior Triforce if you're snowballing, or if your team needs a little bit more of a tank, you can go something like a Cinderhulk, Black Cleaver, Asterix, whatever you want. So that will wrap up my number 2 pick. All right, and quite literally jumping into number 1 with the Jarvan for the Exemplar of Demacia, my absolute favorite pick for people in low elo due to his just insane amount of early game damage and dueling potential. His gank ability is really strong. He's seen a couple of recent buffs. He has 2 very, very defined build paths that you can go down, which is just my absolute favorite. When you know that you're a little bit behind, you're getting out jungled, you can go very tanky and be a great frontliner with like a Cinderhulk and then the Gargoyle Stoneplate. Or if you're doing really well and you get ahead, you can go that Warrior Black Cleaver and Titanic, or even Lethality if you're getting super far ahead. And he is just so insanely strong. He's pretty easy to execute once you get a hold of his kit. The only thing that's a little bit difficult about Jarvan is the EQ, and then having to flash to reposition the knockup, and just getting used to that might take a little bit of time. But overall, Jarvan is a great pick, and he is his E ability is so underrated, giving people like 2 daggers worth of attack speed for your entire team. So that's like 600 gold for 4 other different people, not including yourself. It's just an insane buff that you give to everyone, and it's just part of your basic kit that you're going to have maybe 1 or 2 down during a team fight. So that is great. He works well with hyper carries. Say you see kind of a Corki in the mid lane and an ADC, like a traditional ADC like Vayne, Kai'Sa, Tristana, Ashe in the bot lane. Jarvan can be just a outstanding pick. Very balanced champion. The shield is good for dueling. I mean, there are very few champions that can beat him in dueling early. He has great clear potential. It's just he is just my absolute go-to jungler. I don't know if you guys watch my stream or my videos too much, but jungle is actually my least played role. That's actually why I kept this video to the last one, because I wanted to do a bit more research. But whenever I get forced into the jungle, I usually play Jarvan, sometimes Poppy, but I didn't want to include her on this list because she's just a very niche pick that's like good into things like Lee Sin. But besides that, I think Jarvan is a great pick for the jungle. We're seeing a lot of pro play, and low elo players can pick him up. As you can see, he only has the 1 bar of difficulty. If you guys have any questions on, if you need any help, I'm here for you. I'm trying to get around to all the messages you guys send me. And if you want an OPGG review, the best way to request that is just send me a message on Discord, and I will help you out. Again, I'd love to hear your lists. If you have a top 5 best junglers list, or your favorite top 5 junglers, I'd love to hear that in the comments down below, just so I can get an idea of what you guys play, and maybe make a video on something if it's extremely popular in the comments. If like 4 or 5 different people comment like, oh, I absolutely love this particular champion in the jungle, I might even make a video on it. So, yeah, that wraps up my list. If you guys enjoyed the content, please remember to like and subscribe. That really helps me out quite a bit. And as always, take it easy.